Say that again.
Oh, Nicholas. Oh, right. Okay. It's 5:30 for this Fergus Falls City Council on May the 18th. First item on the agenda is invocation by Nicholas Preston, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this day that you've made. Thank you for the rain. I want to thank you too, Lord, for the safety and protection over the events this last weekend with the parade and the concert. And thank you for the amazing weather for that event as well. Lord, I thank you for the officers that are represented here tonight and in our city. Thank you for the work that they do in protecting us. I ask for your divine protection and safety on them as well. Encourage them as they risk their lives for our safety and to help with the peace of this community. Give them wisdom as they deal with situations, and just thank you for them. Lord, I thank you too for the staff of this city, and I pray that you just would unify them, help them to work together well as they seek for the common good and betterment of this community. Thank you for them and all the work that they do. Thank you for this council and the mayor and the time that they put in to this community. I thank you for Fergus Falls and the blessing that it is. Help it to flourish in every way. I also ask too for these construction projects that your safety and hand would be on them as well as people work hard to make things better. We ask all of this in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I will call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Here. Here.
Here.
Here.
Here.
Here. Yes. Here.
We have a quorum. The first item on the agenda is open forum, a time to address items of city business that are not on tonight's agenda. Anybody wishing to come and speak at the podium, please state your name and the city in which you live.
Good evening, Mayor Hicks, members of the council, and residents of Fergus Falls. I'm Lisa Workman, president of the Fergus Falls Area Chamber of Commerce. And as I mentioned a couple weeks ago, one of our strategic priorities is to inspire community vitality. And our community has been overflowing with vitality for the homecoming for Chris Tungseth. A couple weeks ago, we sat here and we were stressing over a solid maybe. And tonight we're celebrating the spectacular reality. An enormous thank you, an enormous amount of thank yous are in order, but I'm just going to do 3 today. To Mayor Hicks, city staff, Lynn, Andrew, Len, so many people involved, public safety, public works. Thank you for turning impossible deadlines into a flawless day. You managed the crowds, you kept us safe, and you made Fergus Falls look pristine on our big stage. We appreciate everyone's patience while we rolled out the red carpet for a first-class event, and you still kept the city open for business. You are the backbone of the community, and we couldn't have made history without you. Second, our local business community pitched in big time once again for the promotion, the parade, and the concert. From hauling generators and printing hundreds of T-shirts to building a Viking ship in record time, local businesses rolled out the red carpet for thousands of visitors from across the Midwest. We showed the world what small town pride really looks like. And we're so proud that one of our own succeeds, we all win. And as we've said before, a rising tide floats all boats, especially when it's a Viking ship. And third, we might be running on pure adrenaline and exhaustion. Anyone with me on that? But our hearts are incredibly full. And it was a joy being a part of the totally random and undeniably effective planning team. Thank you for letting me be a part of that. To the army of volunteers who just stepped up on a moment's notice and did anything and everything with a smile. Wow, just wow to all the volunteers. Your dedication, your compassion paired with the energy of the crowd, really showed the best of Fergus Falls. Seeing Fergus Falls unite together to cheer on Chris was a powerful reminder of our incredible local pride and community spirit. So on behalf of the Chamber, I want to thank everyone who attended, everyone who participated, who pitched in any way to make Saturday a roaring success. Thank you. It was a joy to be a part of it.
Thank you, Lisa. I think everybody can say ditto. So it was good. Any other comments? If not, we will move on to approving the agenda. A couple of items. We wish to move D1, the promotional swearing-in ceremony, up to the first item before the public hearings. And secondly, under new business, add a land value committee consisting of Scott and Al and staff of James and Clara. With that, would somebody care to approve the agenda?
I'll offer that.
Second.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Scott. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, same sign. Hearing none, the agenda is approved. So the first item on this evening's agenda is the promotional swearing-in ceremony for Sergeant Andrew Renner, and I will call upon our police chief.
We'll start with the swearing in, and then I'll make some comments.
Thank you. Right. Right, so if you care to raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, state your name,
I, Andrew Renner,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the laws and ordinance of the City of Fergus Falls,
and the laws and ordinance of the City of Fergus Falls,
and faithfully discharge the duties of a police sergeant
and faithfully discharge the duties of a police sergeant
for the City of Fergus Falls, State of Minnesota,
for the City of Fergus Falls, Minnesota,
to the best of my judgment and ability.
to the best of my judgment and ability,
So help me God.
so help me God.
Thank you.
First off, I really want to thank the officers and the employees of the Fergus Falls Police Department for coming here tonight. You know, everyone's shift is over with, but they stuck around. So that means a lot for our department, and in particular for Sergeant Renner. In the law enforcement profession, there are really only two opportunities during one's career where a badge pinning ceremony is appropriate, and that's celebrating the hiring of a new officer and celebrating a promotion. Tonight it is my absolute pleasure to make a few comments regarding Officer and now Sergeant Andrew Renner. Sergeant Renner was one of 4 applicants for this position, and he faced stiff competition from the other 3. But it was very clear to me from the beginning that Sergeant Renner poured his heart and soul into this process, and it started with a written assignment. It should come as no surprise to anyone that since I arrived here on September 15th, I have touted 3 departmental priorities: officer health and wellness, community engagement, and recruitment and retention. And the first question for the written assignment was, what have you done or will you do to promote these priorities? Sergeant Renner wrote of encouraging officers to use resources present and available, such as EAP and health insurance benefits. He also spoke of leading by example by using our fitness room 3 to 4 times per week. Now, Mayor and Council, in Iowa, we would use the term farm strong, but after seeing the amount of weight that Sergeant Renner moves around in our fitness room, farm strong is an absolutely appropriate term to describe him. Under the community engagement priority, Sergeant Renner spoke of participating in National Night Out, Trunk or Treat, walking around Summerfest and the county fair, and coaching hockey. He also mentioned being proactive by doing walkthroughs during hockey tournaments, and speaking with visitors about places to eat or visit in Fergus Falls. And regarding recruitment and retention, he spoke of being a union steward and encouraging better wages and overall contract benefits after we were losing hires to the sheriff's office. And on the retention front, Sergeant Renner mentioned adjustment of the wage steps and creating an environment of positive morale. He specifically mentioned Sergeant Silbernagel as a role model and one that he looks up to for showing up early, staying late, and adjusting his time off to support the officers that he supervises. Now, sometimes you can question or second guess yourself when you're in a leadership position, asking yourself if what you're doing is really making a difference. So I really liked how Sergeant Renner gave credit to Sergeant Silbernagel. And that validation only helps us to stay the course and re-energizes us that we are truly making a difference. During my short time here, I've noticed officers gravitate towards Sergeant Renner for advice and guidance, whether it's advice about the law enforcement profession or something in their personal lives. Sergeant Renner knows how to get the best out of those that surround him, and he recognizes that everyone has a different learning style. And finally, Sergeant Renner is a testament to never giving up. It is not easy to put yourself out there and face rejection. Sergeant Renner faced rejection 3 previous times when he put in for the sergeant promotion, but he never gave up. He took each rejection, looked introspectively about what he could do better, what he could work on, and then he improved. This is a very fitting and appropriate outcome and promotion for Sergeant Renner. Congratulations again.
Thank you, Police Chief. The next item on the agenda is a plethora of public hearings. The first one being the Public Improvement 6082, the 2025 Sidewalk and Driveway Improvement Projects. Following will be a resolution adopting the final cost assessment for PI 6082, the 2025 Sidewalk and Driveway Improvement Projects. And over to Kyle, who's going to be your MC for the next while.
All right, thank you. We have 4 public hearings that we're going to go through tonight, and all of these will follow the same process for going through. We'll give you a little bit of information on the project, and then if there's comments or appeals that want to take place, that will be your opportunity to come up and do that. So as we follow the Chapter 429 project process, the first one is the 2025 sidewalk and driveway improvements. So the project itself was doing city sidewalk within the community. There was 2 repairs done on this project, and the 2 repairs were done by petitioned residents within the city, and the total cost of the project was $25,621.54, and the amount assessed was $4,495.50. And so as part of the process now, if there are any appeals or comments on the project, you can come up and do so.
It likes your voice.
Siri was trying to answer something.
I think Siri wants to make a public comment.
Said that.
Okay.
So we are open for public comment. Hearing none, the public comment period is closed. This comes back to council now for somebody to make the resolution
I
to
can do
adopt
that.
it. Thank you, Laurel. Would somebody?
I'll second.
Thank you, Jim. Roll call, please.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
The resolution is approved. The next item is public hearing for Public Improvement 5966, the Cavour Avenue Improvement Project following the resolution for the final cost assessment rolls for PI 5966 and the Cavour Avenue. So again, over to Kyle.
Okay, jumping into the Cavour Avenue special assessment hearing. So just an update on the project. So we are replacing all the utilities and street replacement on Cavour from Union to Cascade, as well as Court and Mill Street. Along with this project, and not shown on here or highlighted, will be the alleyways done as well in between the 3 blocks just south of Cavour, as well as 3 city parking lots, but those projects are not assessed. Okay, update just on the schedule of the project. Back in February, we held a public meeting open house, and as well as the preliminary public hearing on February 17th. We did put plans to state aid in February, and then open bids on March 31st. Construction is going to start towards the end of May here. They're going to start tearing up the street right towards the end of May after Memorial Day. And tonight is the assessment hearing. Substantial completion on the project will be the end of October, and we'll put the final wear course on the paving piece of it next summer. Funding on the project, so the estimated project cost is $3,295,200, of which $1.5 million is the street portion, and then of the street portion that's being special assessed is the $380,506.32. The utility portion of the project, all of the underground, is just over $1 million that is being paid with utility funds through the city. And then that alleyway and parking lot, the $715,200, is being paid through the city and some of the utility companies. Just to give you a little bit of background on the determination how the assessments were done, we followed city policy on the assessment. The city policy is, being that this is in a commercial zone, that the city covers the middle 17 feet of the street, and then the remaining outside portion of the project is what is special assessed. The assessment value is based on your front footage, lineal foot, of the abutting property, or if you have a corner lot, it's the abutting footage or both sides, if work is done on both sides of your lot. So the cost per front foot for the accessible street portion is $121.84 per lineal foot. So again, we will open it up for public comment. Please indicate your name, address, and your concern with your special assessment.
So the public comment period is open. Anybody care to come to the podium? Seeing nobody, then the, oh,
If you, when is the, when you don't like, what do you call it? You just talked about.
Appeal?
Yeah, the appeal. When's that appeal process? You have to talk about it now on this part of it, or we have to talk about it later?
can we get a resolution?
Okay. I wanted to make sure we didn't do it before we made a resolution. Is that,
He wants it while the open.
I want to know if we could make back, open again, because there is somebody in the, doesn't probably understand the rules.
Let me just touch on that for a
Yep.
second. So the appeal process is, and it was in the letter, to be able to appeal your assessment, you either have to be here tonight to appeal it, or you would have had to have a written notice into the city by the end of this meeting.
So
That allows you then the opportunity to appeal after this
do you
meeting.
appeal it to open hearing? Do we appeal before we approve it, or after we approve it? What do we do?
It would appeal before.
Before we make the, Your Honor, can we go back? Brent, you and I talked, do you want to talk about appeal? Possibly, yeah. So you have to do it now, or if we put it on, we make a resolution to vote, I think we're done, so.
Or he can, Your Honor, or he can put it in writing before the end of the meeting and deliver it to us.
Okay. There you go.
I guess
Just want a clarification, because he called me earlier, and I wanted to make sure we didn't go through something he didn't understand.
Maybe
I'll
another-
make the motion, and if you want to go ahead and do that.
Only, thank you,
And
Scott.
I can second it. I think another way to explain it would be if you want to do something, you could make that request now, and then if you don't do it, you don't do it, but it doesn't cost you anything. But if you don't want to do something, you're out.
Correct.
Or if you could have have a letter by the end of the meeting. Yeah.
Letters can just get handed to Lynn, I would assume,
Yeah.
or whoever.
I'll take it.
Or you'll take them, okay.
There you go.
So you're quite happy to hand a letter in? So, okay, so we have a resolution and a second. Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 The resolution is approved. The next item on the agenda is public hearing for public improvement 5964, the Cleveland Avenue project. So again, we'll follow that with a resolution. Over to Kyle.
All right, thank you. Moving on with the Cleveland Avenue project. So just an update on the project itself is replacing all the utilities and street on Cleveland Avenue from Franklin to Fur. Again, the process and the schedule is basically the same as the last project, pretty much identical. So those processes have happened up to date to the assessment hearing tonight. Substantial completion on that project is going to be the end of August, with the final wearing course being done next year. Project funding, this project is $2.5 million total project. The street portion of the project is $1.2 million, with $326,991.86 being the assessed portion of it, and just over $1.2 million of the utility pieces being paid through by utility funds. Again, the assessment project process, we followed the city policy. In this case, because it is a residential street, the city will cover the 9 feet from center line of the street, and the remaining portion will be assessed. Again, the front footage is used as assessments, and so standard lots, we use the abutting front footage. Corner lots, the abutting footage, or at both sides if there's a project on both sides of the lot. The estimated cost per front foot is $109.07 per lineal foot. So again, we will open it up to public comment.
The public hearing is open. Anybody care to speak? Again, if anybody has any written comments they would like to hand in, we will take them too. If not, the public hearing is closed, so we will look for a resolution. Al, and somebody to second that.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Jim. With no questions, roll call, please.
Yes.
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 The resolution is approved. The next item on the agenda is public hearing for public improvement 5967, the Douglas Avenue Improvement Project, and again, the same process.
Okay, Douglas Avenue, final assessment hearing. So the work on Douglas Avenue is, again, all utilities and street work being replaced from Kelvin to Union. Again, essentially the same schedule has been followed. The bid opening on that project was a week later than the other 2 projects, so that was April 2nd. The plan to start on this project end of June, early July. Substantial completion on the project is end of October, with final completion of the wearing course being done next summer. So on this project, the total project cost $1,805,000, with the street portion just over $801,000. The piece being assessed is $346,558.26, with just over $1 million being funded through the utility funds from the city. Again, special assessment process being used was following the city policy. Again, the city will cover the first, the center 9 feet of the road, with the remaining portion being assessed. Again, using front footage for the abutting footage of the project, and corner lots, both sides, if there's work done on both sides or the long side is utilized. The estimated, or the cost per front foot for the final assessment is $144.58 per lineal foot. And with that, we will open it up for comments.
So the public comment period is open. I know the city administrator has a letter to read.
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor. Council members, I received an objection before the hearing from the residents at 416 West Douglas Avenue objecting to the special assessment. So we'll put that on the record, and then they will have the ability to proceed how they feel they need to.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Good evening, everybody.
I think we got her turned off. I don't think she's on.
Yeah.
It'll come. Give us a try to say.
Okay. Hi, there we go. I'm Molly. I live at 520 West Douglas Avenue. Nice to meet you in person, Kyle. We've talked on the phone. Thank you. I have some comments to share about this project, and I know some of them are probably a little too late in the game, but I understand the city is trying to do what's best for residents of the city, and I hope the council and anybody else participating here will consider also those residents of West Douglas. A recommendation that I have for projects like this in the future, because I think it's too late now, is to please give residents on those streets more notice than weeks or even months. Another recommendation I have is to consider how to pace these projects or space them perhaps, and reconfigure the budget so residents aren't saddled with the debt that we are asked to shoulder in addition to paying taxes to maintain city streets. And I'd like to recommend to any homeowners listening that you check your linear curb footage, because my understanding now is that the city uses the GIS maps to get that information, and I understand from speaking with the county this week that those maps aren't necessarily accurate. They're often not accurate, and it's more important to go from the legal description of the properties. Some positives I want to point out in my comments is that I really appreciate having clean, reliable services from the city, and I applaud you all for that. I appreciate clean water, and I turn on the tap, and it comes on every time. It's fabulous. Sewer services, gas services, same. And I appreciate having drivable roads. So I'm grateful for the effort to update our infrastructure. Some negatives I want to share, and why they are negatives, is that the first letter I received was dated January 29th about the public open house meeting, and that meeting was a week later. And as we know, our mail goes to Fargo and then comes back to Fergus. it's a very little lead time for people to attend a meeting like that. So that's why I recommend more notice in advance. I don't think that was a legal issue, but it would just be a courtesy to residents. And then, the estimate, or I don't want to call it an estimate because it's really not an estimate. The bill for me, has changed up to 4 times because of various issues. And the price is very high. So I want to point out that while I appreciate the adjustments that have been made, that neighborhood is an older neighborhood with a lot of smaller houses, 1940s and 1950s era. A lot of single income owners of those homes, retired people as well. And it creates quite a burden on that neighborhood. It's not like these are big houses, newer houses, double income earning folks. So, that's what I wanted to say about the project, and thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hi, my name's Ethan Bjornley. I live at 324 West Douglas, and I'm blessed to have more than half the block of property. So I believe my property starts at 316 West Douglas and goes to the corner, but that does mean that my assessment is going to be $32,530, which is it's a big blow. And so I'll ask for what do I need to ask for? Appeal. Okay, appeal. It is in two. I combined one property, so 324 goes from 316 up to 324. The corner lot I bought from Wally Pearson. That is assessed at $8,000, and that's the tax assessment value is $8,000. And this assessment now would be another $7,000. So I guess I'd like clarification on, does this mean that my property is now worth the $8,000 plus the $7,000? Is it worth now $15,000? And that would be a question, I don't know if that's for you, Kyle, or is that a tax?
Yeah, that's a tax.
Do the tax people decide that?
Like an appraiser would have to do that.
Okay. The other question, like Molly had said, the amounts that we were told has been changing depending on the how you figured it. And so there was a question as to, are you talking frontage? And then because all the corner lot people were assessed or were told that we would need to pay from the corner back to the alley, 143 feet. So, but that has now been changed again. So now it's just the 50-foot corner lot. Can you explain on that what is the abutting and how does that all work?
Yeah, if we can see it on the map. So there's two types of assessments here. So it's corner lots and non-corner lots. Okay, so but in this case, they're essentially all assessed the same on Douglas because Douglas is just a straight project. There's no side streets being done. So essentially, your assessment should be on the piece of the property facing towards Douglas Avenue, whether you're on a corner lot or any other lot. Now, when we talk about city policy, as projects are done if there would have been projects done going up the side streets, that's where the side lot would have been considered on those corner lots. But we're not doing that project, so essentially it is straight, your front footage is what you should have been assessed.
So then my next question is, when will Vine Street be done? And will I be assessed on that as well, that 143 feet on Vine? As well as, we know that Union is going to be done next year, and we know that Sean is on the corner, so he's paying the 50 feet this year, and is he going to have to pay another 143 feet next year?
That's the question I just asked the city administrator too. Like, what is, I don't even know the answer to that. What is city policy on that if this comes up and it gets done next?
So city policy, the way that they've been running corner lots is they will assess. So let's take this project, for example, a corner lot, right? They have, let's say 143 feet on the side, 50 on. So if they were to get hit 50 here, if we came back and did any of the side streets, they would do the remaining portion of the side lot. So if there was 143 and they got assessed 50, you would subtract 50 off the 143. And so they would get hit for 93. So the reason they do that is if you were to only do the long side of the corner lot, you would hit the full long side. And then if you ever came and did the short side, there wouldn't be an assessment value. That's how it's been run historically.
Your Honor, if I live on a corner,
Can you go to the public? You have to hold your comment until the public hearing.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I was bad.
Thinking about it. We're in a public hearing. Yeah.
I do have more questions, I guess, they're not necessarily about that, but there are a lot of utility flags that get put up, and it would be helpful to know what's going on with all the flags and who's responsible for them and how long will they be sitting in our yards, and if they get moved or pulled out, or then what happens. And there hasn't been a lot of, well, right now there's a gas line being laid on our side of the street, and so we've got that. I know that the water has been identified, but it would be helpful to be more kept up to date. Now, the Cleveland people, I've driven by there and noticed that they've got water lines. I don't know when our water line's going to be. Can you give any update on what kind of progress there will be on that, or maybe that's.
Is this something we can give during the public?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, so I can address a few of those things. Josiah Rasta with More Engineering, working with the city. So the gas line, odd timing, but that is actually not part of this project. So the gas company has decided that in coordination with the city project that they want to replace their gas main. Those are privately owned in the city of Fergus, and so they kind of come in and do what they want, kind of when they want, in coordination with the city, of course. But those updates are separate from this project. Now, with that being said, Kyle kind of mentioned the timeline there. The contractors indicated a late June, early July start. At that point, what you will expect is a lot more flags, because what they are required to do is to call in a locate to identify what are all the private utilities located within the public right-of-way, really to protect them, to protect the private utility, and just make sure that the project goes smooth. So unfortunately for you, what that means is the flags will probably be in there for most of the summer. At the end of the project, though, those will be completely cleaned up and taken off the project site. Does that answer most of it? I think so. Okay.
Thank you. Any other comments?
I've got a big tree that's drops a lot of branches, and I think it is in the boulevard, I believe. Is that going to be taken out? And can it be taken out? And is this going to ruin, if you rip up the road, is it going to kill the tree anyway? So that would be the question.
As far as trees on the project, we are going, there are some trees that have to be removed if it's in the way of the water or sewer service, because we have to dig those in. So I don't know where the specific tree is compared to your water or sewer line, if we'll be able to do it. And in some instances, when we get too close, sometimes those roots do get dug up, and sometimes it will affect the life of the tree. But it's a case-by-case basis. We'll have to see where the sewer service or the water service is on your lot compared to where the tree is. That's normally where the deciding factor is, how close we get to the tree.
And so I live on the corner of Vine. I know that Union is being done next year, so I'm assuming that Sean, you'll be, well, I'm assuming Sean will be assessed again on Union. Is that accurate?
If the Union project goes ahead, but
According to the, okay. So do you have any timeline as far as when Vine, is it on the project list anytime in the next 10 years?
I don't believe so.
I don't think it's on, which are not on fiber.
Okay. That helps. So if I can, I'm also 65 or 67, so I think I qualify for something if I want. Qualify for something. So you have to be 65 or disabled to have a deferment. I'm not sure that I want to do that, but I'd like to keep that as an opening. Okay. I think that's all I got.
Hi, I'm Melissa Anderson. I live at 303 West Douglas, so we're right on the corner of Douglas and Union. And my question is, because I know you said the utilities are kind of doing their own thing, and they have started, and they're digging in our yard currently, and I'm wondering what efforts were made to mark other buried apparatuses besides just the utility lines. My home has geolock technology, which if you're not sure what that is, they're land anchors that are put in about 10 feet from the house, and they have a threaded rod that runs to a steel plate on the inside of the wall of our basement to help stabilize the basement wall. They're about 4 feet down, 4 to 6 feet down, and I'm concerned with them digging near the house that they will strike those apparatuses because they were not marked with any flags. So I'm wondering, if there is a way to mark more of those things, or what we're supposed to do if/when they hit those in the digging process.
I can contact for Great Plains.
Because I approached the workers out there, and they were super nice to me, but they have no clue what to do with it. And I'm not interested in redoing that project, nor with anybody getting injured. So,
We'll get you contact for them, and if you need help, let us know.
will do. Thank you.
And with our project, Melissa, we will not be going up into your property.
Okay.
We will just be going up to the property line.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
Carla Bjornley, 324 West Douglas. And I did pull some of those flags, so I'm really glad all these sergeants have left in case I end up in jail. But I did pull some. Anyway, my question probably for you, sir, over here from Moore, is why the difference between the Cleveland 107 assessment versus Douglas at 144 per linear yard, foot, whatever? Please.
to do it at an angle like this. So yes, in terms of how the assessment value is actually processed, they were done the same way. Now there are a couple differences between Cleveland and Douglas. Primary ones is Cleveland was designed for a 9-ton road, and so as a part of that, what we do is we actually reduce what is assessed to residentials down to a 5-ton road. And so they have a factor that takes, here's the 9-ton road, and it's factored down to a smaller value for the residents, because they do not use, similar to Douglas, a 9-ton road. Douglas, on the other hand, was strictly a 5-ton road, and so because of that, you get the full value of the street section that was developed. As a part of that project, we did get a geotechnical engineer to come in and provide a recommendation for the street section to make sure that it holds up for long-term use, but really keyed into that 5-ton road section. And so because of that, the section actually has 2 inches of additional bituminous pavement over the entire section, which led to that higher cost as compared to Cleveland Avenue. Correct. To really get into the weeds, another thing that they look at is vehicles traveled per day on a street. If we take Douglas Avenue as opposed to Cleveland, there's obviously a lot more traffic there. And so the way the city policy works is as vehicles per day goes up, the assessment value to the abutting residents goes down, whereas if the vehicles per day is down, it goes higher on the residents. So there is a factor that they play into that, just because if 10,000 people are traveling your street, you shouldn't have to pay for 10,000. But if you're the only one traveling it, a little more of that burden lands on that property, if that makes sense.
It does. I may not agree with it.
Yeah.
Thanks for answering it.
Yes.
Ethan Bjornley, 324 West Douglas. I have a request. I know we've talked a little bit, but I'd like it on the record. Right now I have one house, and this property on the corner doesn't have a house. It could have a house in the future, and so I'd like water, something stubbed out so that that would be possible. And this seems like it would be the time to do it, and I think we talked about that would be possible. I'd just like it on the record that has been agreed to.
It's on the list.
Okay.
Any other additional comments?
Ellen Bradburn, I'm at 533 West Douglas. I also previously rented at 319 West Douglas, so been on the street a while. And so I am on that corner, the far corner property on Douglas and Calvin. That's my corner property. So I do think that I now understand that even though the shorter side is what's abutting, I'm being taxed on the larger side. Is that correct? No, for this project.
No.
It's the shorter side, but it would be subtracted if the other side is done later. Okay. And yet, my assessment seems high compared to people that I've spoken with elsewhere in the block. So I think I do want to file an appeal. I also would just like to add to Molly's comments that I think that I love this project. I'm really glad you're doing this road. Let me start with that. I think the communication with the neighbors was spotty. I do live in Fergus Falls. That's my primary residence, but I travel a lot, and my mail has been getting forwarded to me. I've gotten a total of 2 notices on this project that I actually received at the forwarded address. Only one of them addressed an assessment. Obviously, you've heard from some of my neighbors. They got different numbers, which is not really helpful until you have a final actual number. So there's been a lot of confusion about numbers and apparently also some about measuring on the line. That said, my real question is about understanding the financing options that were presented. It sounds like the city is offering the option of having it financed over the 15-year period at fixed amount amortized over that period with that 5.7% interest rate. Is that, and that we have the option of prepaying. So it sounds to me like the option is if you find some other financing option that suits you better, like a home equity loan or whatever, we have the option to do that as homeowners, but we would need to do it in order, by the time we would need to do that prepayment. Is that correct?
Correct. Or, I mean, you can do it at any time, and then we will calculate interest beyond that payment.
So we can prepay, for example, like one would pay more than the amount on a monthly mortgage in order to pay off the balance sooner, pay off the principal sooner, and wind up paying less interest. Is that correct?
Yep, if you don't pay by the date, then interest will start. You could pay it off 5 years from now if you would like at that time, and then obviously interest will stop at that point.
Okay.
You will just pay up to that.
Okay. All right, I think that answers my question. Thank you.
Molly Stoddard, 520 West Douglas. Sorry, I forgot to ask a question and make a statement. I got your thing on my mailbox today, the adjusted amount. Kyle, or I don't know if you put it there or somebody else did. Josiah did. Thank you. Okay, I did get that. And I just want to point out for the record that that does not match what's in the packets for me. That's the previous edition.
Updated versions were handed to council.
We have them.
Oh, good. Okay, thank you. That was the one thing. And then the question is regarding payment. I've seen two dates. I've seen one date in the packet information is a month from today. And then I've seen in the mail that's come to me the date of July 15th. And so I'm wondering which date is it? Or maybe it's two different things and I don't understand. So maybe someone could explain that.
July 15th.
Okay. July 15th. Thank you.
Any other comments? If not, the public hearing is closed. If somebody in the council would like to make a resolution and second it, then we could have discussion. Thank you, Scott.
I'll second.
Thank you, Jim. Mark, you had a question.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. On a street project like we have here where it's straight, and I live on the corner, does the measurement go to the corner, or is the city responsible for the boulevard portion? On the side street, if you will.
The assessment only goes to the corner of their property.
Corner of the property, regardless of the street or sidewalk.
Correct.
And again, I believe that's an important thing to actually go by legal descriptions rather than GIS. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? If not, a roll call, please.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
The resolution is approved. I believe the comments will then get addressed. The next item on the agenda is a public hearing establishing TIF District 418 and a business subsidy for Northwood Industrial Services. Following the period, we will require two resolutions, a resolution establishing TIF District 418 for Northwood Industrial Services and a resolution approving a business subsidy for Northwood Industrial Services. With that, do you want to say something and then open it to public hearing?
If I could, Mayor, sorry. Just
No
I
problem.
always like to give just a quick introduction of it. That way then we can move to public input. Again, council, I won't go into great depth since we had the work session last week, but I just do want to remind council, and the mayor did a nice job in the opening, that this is a tax increment financing and business subsidy public hearing on the proposed project. This is an economic development TIF district. It qualifies under the manufacturing. It is a one parcel TIF district, which is, if created by council, would be a 9-year economic development TIF district. Total budget on the TIF plan that's allowed in the TIF plan is $556,765. That is the most increment or the top end of the budget that the city can collect on it. Once we hit that period, we need to decertify the TIF district. But based on the budget in the TIF plan, that was all based on the proposed project, the market value. Those market values were provided by the county assessor. So again, this is business subsidy portion of it would be up to $295,000 of assistance over that 9 years. The business has stated in the application that they are pledging 10 jobs at $30 an hour that they'll have to monitor and comply and report to the city as part of that. So with that, Mayor, Council, I'll step down for public comment.
Thank you. Public comment period is open. Anybody wishing to speak to this project, please step forward. Seeing nobody, the public hearing is closed. So we'll look to council to make a resolution to establish TIF District 418 for Northwood Industrial Services LLC. If somebody would care to make that.
I'll offer that. Okay. Whatever.
Scott and Jim. Scott Kwame and Jim Fish. Roll call, please.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
The resolution is approved. The next is a resolution approving a business subsidy for Northwood Industrial Services LLC. If somebody would care to make that.
I'll offer that.
Thank you, Jim.
I'll second.
Thank you, Scott. Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 The resolution is approved. There are no bids to award. Obviously, we have sworn in a sergeant. The next item is a proclamation declaring May 17 to 23rd as Public Works Week. So, National Public Works Week proclamation, May 18 to the 23rd, 2026. Rooted in service, powered by community. Whereas public work professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are vital importance to sustainability and resilient communities and to public health, high quality of life and well-being of the people of Fergus Falls. And whereas these infrastructures, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals, who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector, who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings, park facilities, and programs and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in Fergus Falls to gain knowledge of and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2026 marks the 66th annual National Public Works Week sponsored by the American Public Works Association, be it now resolved, I, Anthony Hicks, Mayor of the City of Fergus Falls, do hereby designate the week of May 18th to the 23rd, 2026, as National Public Works Week. I urge all citizens to join with representatives of the American Public Works Association and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protecting our national health, safety, and advancing quality of life for all. Thank you. And Public Works demonstrated this weekend, what they can do for us as a city in terms of barriers, tables and chairs, and everything else, that flags and etc. So thank you. The next item is way to go, Vlad. Yeah.
Of the public works crew, that's awesome.
The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda, a motion approving the minutes for the May 4, 2026 City Council meeting and the May 13, 2026 Committee of the Whole meeting, a motion approving licenses, a resolution approving an updated trail permit for all Otter County Trail Association snowmobile routes throughout the city, a resolution approving a temporary lease agreement with Park Construction to place a field office lab trail on the city-owned land at 1960 College Way for the duration of MnDOT Highway 210 Bridge and Roundabout Construction Project, and a resolution calling for a public hearing to consider a Minnesota Investment Fund loan on June 1st at 5:30 in the City Council chambers. With that, would somebody care to make that resolution for the consent agenda?
I can offer that.
Thank you, Laurel. Would somebody care to second it? Thank you, Scott. Roll call, please.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
The resolution is approved. The next item on the agenda is a resolution authorizing the city to engage with David Drone and Associates to provide a tax increment financing analysis and related services. So, Jason, do you want to talk to that?
I believe that's for an upcoming project, so I'll let Clara speak to it if you don't mind.
Yeah, Jason barely knows about this one yet. We have been approached by another business owner in town who is hoping to expand. They are also looking into creation of a TIF district. So I think he actually plans to make his application tomorrow morning. So this request is to be able to engage with David Drone to do what he has done already for SCR Solutions for this other company looking to expand, and then we will bring all of the information forward to you.
I will offer that.
Thank you, Laurel. Would somebody care to second it?
I'll second.
Thank you, Jim. Roll call, please.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
The next item on the agenda, there's a couple of items. Resolution requesting FAA approval of an agreement for the transfer of entitlements to the Sewer Municipal Airport. And then the second one is a resolution requesting the same transfer to Cook Municipal Airport. Just to kind of help give some background to this, the city airport gets allocated $150,000 a year from the FAA, and ultimately we can bank some of those dollars up to an amount of $600,000. Once it gets to $600,000, then you lose. You if you don't use them, you lose them. And so, what the city is looking to do is to transfer out some of those and then bring them back as in 27. We have a large potential project coming at the airport where we would require those dollars back because it would be a project greater than 600,000. And likewise, we can borrow obviously entitlements from other airports. The city has done this a number of times in the past when we purchased the snowblower out there, and we purchased a large mower as well. We did the same where we borrowed entitlements from somebody else, and in return, we lent them out. So it's kind of an exchange in property. So basically, we're looking for a resolution to transfer some of our entitlements, and then basically with the understanding that ultimately we will get them back. And the one is 188,000. And the other one is 38,000. So we'd take them as two resolutions. So if somebody would care to make that for the first one. Thank you, Al.
I'll second.
Thank you, Scott.
Your Honor, just one question,
Absolutely.
just for clarity. Why these two airports? Why these two cities? What was it? How did they come about?
They equally have a project that they require
Okay.
some additional funding for, and that's why the amounts are odd. They're
Okay.
like 38,000. They're not kind of like the a clean 150,000. Roll call, please.
That means he's yes. You gotta wait.
We have to wait.
You need
Oh, okay, so roll call, please.
Yes.
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 The resolution is approved. The next, if somebody would care to make a resolution for the, to Cook Municipal.
I'll offer that.
Thank you, Jim. Would somebody care to second it?
Second.
Thank you, Scott. Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 The resolution is approved. The next item is a resolution approving a permanent access easement for Northwoods Industrial Services LLC. And I think it will, I think James is James still on or not? I think he's dropped off. So we'll sub it out to Clara.
Thank you, Mayor. Council, in a previous meeting, we had offered a temporary easement access to Mr. Sickink of SCR Solutions across the, at the Progress Drive, the water tower parcel connecting to 8 acres that the Port Authority currently owns and is in a purchase agreement with Mr. Sickink to purchase. The request now is that that actually become a permanent easement access rather than temporary. So I believe Rolf has been working on the draft language for that agreement, but just hoping to see what the council's wishes are there.
And this will be conditioned on a successful closing, so you're not going to be entering into an easement until he actually closes on the purchase.
Yes.
Mr. Nicomo, just one question. Does this permanent easement go with Northwoods Industrial Services only, or does it go with the property description?
It's in favor of Northwood Industrial or / residential, depending on where he goes with that. But it is assignable, so I mean, if he sells off to another entity, that will have the right to continue to use it as well. It's exclusive to his lot.
Does it come back to the council then for approval if he sells off, or can he just do the perpetual easement goal? Okay.
Can we get a resolution?
I'll offer the resolution.
Thank you, Laurel. Would somebody care to second it?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Scott. Any other questions? Scott?
Just as a comment, I think it's a reasonable request, and I think the access from that end of the lot will greatly increase his use of the lot, and I think it makes sense to make this permanent.
With that, roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
The resolution is approved. The next item on the agenda is a resolution for the presentation of claims in the amount of $1,023,289.87. Would somebody care to make that resolution?
I'll offer the resolution to pay the bills.
Thank you, Jim. Would somebody care to second it?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Laurel. Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
The resolution is approved. Under new business, the first item is a community beautification project, and we'll be looking for a resolution authorizing the city to accept donations for the 250th anniversary of America Community Beautification Project. So if somebody would care to make that resolution, and then I think Councilman Kramer will, and Mike Mortensen, so Al Kramer, Mike Mortensen, and Al, would you care to speak to this?
I do. Actually, I forgot to do it last Wednesday morning, and I think it's even better tonight due to the fact that what we saw happen over the weekend, and a lot of people were very up. I don't know how else to put that. You know, it was really fun to see that in the city of Fergus Falls. It was fun to see the city employees parking cars in the back of the Kirkbride. It was fun to see everybody involved. And, you know, we're going to celebrate 250 years for our country. And I would really like to see us to beautify our city, help it out any way we can. I want people to mow their yards. I want stuff to be picked up. Let's watch the boulevards, things of that nature. I'm really going to look out to the people who own rental properties. I would like those people who own that, or the residents, to really keep up your yards, please. Please do this. And then also to, I know Councilmember Mortensen has reached out to a business, and I know I have too. We've securing some funds, and not only with the funds, we are getting the employees of those businesses to help plant flowers that they want to purchase. And it'd be nice to see some flower beds, maybe in the George Wright Park, around the statue, maybe around the sign. You know, we need some help with the city on that too. I mean, with this, getting it organized. But if we can get some money for this, let's do it. It's been a long time since there's been flowers in, I think, the George Wright Park. And we want to get this, it's a beautiful spot. You know, people see that. They look over the river there. And we want to see our city look its best. So I really, really want this to happen. And if there's anybody out there who wants to donate, if it's private or if it's business, hey, we will welcome this. We want to get as much as we can to do whatever we can for our city, because, you know, this positivity is very contagious, and so is the other way. And I like the positivity side of it much better, instead of the conflict. So, you know, let's jump on this. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
I think just this, Your Honor, we're close to getting some major donations to do some flowers, and I think it's going to be a great addition for our city. So some of you might be out there at home and say, well, I don't own a business, or I don't do this, I don't have the money to donate, but some of this money is coming in from large corporations. So if you work for some of the larger corporations in town, sometimes they have things where they have team get-togethers where they do things like this, plant flowers. And we want to make sure that you become part of this. Just reach out to the city, and we can get you started with this, where you can come out and plant, and then we'll try to put some little placards out for the businesses that were involved if we can. So appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd also emailed the mayor in regards to the Main Street trees. It would be nice if those grids were cleaned up. I don't know if they could be lifted out, dug out a little bit, put some material and new, well, if you will, fill on them, put the plates back. It would be really nice. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes?
Yes.
The resolution is approved. The additional item was, we'll be looking for a motion to create a subcommittee to land value. In the earlier conversation before the council meeting, the city owns 3 parcels of land, the Norgren property, the Stanton Avenue property, and the dairy property. And the Port Authority / kind of council members were looking at how we could come up with a formula that would identify what type of value we would be looking for those pieces of land. Between the Port Authority and Economic Development, we're starting to get some traction and inquiries on land. And so it was felt that we should come up with some form of strategy and policy on it. And so the thought was to have a working committee that would put that together and bring that back to the council. So the members that were identified was Scott Kwame, Scott Rachels, and Al Krameyer, with staff input from James and Clara. So we're just looking for a motion to make that a standing committee or not a standing committee, subcommittee.
I'll offer that.
Thank you, Laurel. Would somebody care to second it?
Second.
Thank you, Jim. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, same sign. Hearing none, welcome to the Land Value Committee. I thought it was a good name for it.
Good.
Like special we get?
Yeah, you can get a badge.
We're gonna have lunches at our
the
meeting.
police chief will pin a badge on you. So, the miscellaneous announcements. On May 25th, we will be closed for observation of Memorial Day. Garbage and recycling normally picked up on Monday will be collected on Tuesday, May 26th. Tuesday's collection will be moved to Wednesday, May 27th. On May 27th. We will be having a 7 o'clock committee of the whole meeting, and then June 1st will be a 5:30 city council meeting. The next item on the agenda is adjournment to a closed session pursuant to Minnesota Stat 13D.05, sub 3B, to discuss pending litigation, and it's not anticipated that we will reopen to the public after that. With that, this present portion of the meeting is adjourned.